everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to episode 2 of the Beyond the Surface podcast. I'm Snezondo, and with me is...
I'm Sisipo. Really?
Yes, this is how...
It's like this is my guest. Hi,
I'm sorry.
everybody.
I'm sorry.
Like, seriously?
My co-host.
Even worse.
How is that
Even
worse? You're my co-host.
Okay.
I'm your co-host.
All right.
We're both
well,
co-hosts
welcome to
hosting the show.
Welcome to this podcast/TV show.
Yes, we
yeah.
are shooting live at the 132 gallery. Please feel free to come and see the beautiful art in this gallery. And if you are watching on, if you're listening on the podcast, we're also live on YouTube at the Beyond the Surface podcast. So do like, comment, share,
And
subscribe.
follow on YouTube and on Instagram.
Yes, Instagram, we are Beyond the Surface pod.
Yeah.
So follow us on Instagram as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so
Formalities out the way. Let's get the show on the road. Sipo, what are we talking about today?
So we are discussing something that I think a lot of people are like familiar with. I think it's something that I wouldn't even call it like a struggle. It's just I guess it's a human thing. And as a result of that, there's been like this popular term that's been coined.
Yes.
To sort of like,
A sassy term.
how do you even pronounce it? Sabawel. Basically, it's Xhosa. Like
Sabawal.
Sabawel.
Sabawal.
And then now
Sabawal.
it's Sabawel.
Sakhalel.
But it goes a bit beyond, like deeper.
Yes.
Than
I think
that. Yeah.
as Beyond the Surface, we are going to go beyond and we're going to unpack what that really means and what that means today in popular culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, when you told me about it, I was like, okay, coveting, right? And when I was looking at
you
the
went
term,
you
yeah,
went
it's a
deep into the word.
Yeah. So it's like, when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, it's to desire someone else's thing or possession,
Yeah.
and wishing it was
Yours.
And I don't know, like, if you would like say, is it similar to envy?
Yes.
Kinda.
Yes. Yes.
I wouldn't go as far as saying it's jealousy, but
No, I don't think it's.
I
don't think it's
yeah.
jealousy. No, I think it's definitely it's more like envy, and I think the way that you unpacked it, it's basically seeing what another has and wishing that it was your own. And I think there's a lot of damage in that, and we'll obviously go into that.
And when I was thinking about it, I was like, I think it's also been, fueled a lot by social media.
Definitely.
And like how we portray ourselves and the things that we put out. And I think when I think about it, it does have, some kind of damage in,
Yes.
in one's esteem, how you see life, perspective. And I think it interferes a lot also with just your life and your journey, because it makes you want to focus always on the other person.
Exactly.
Like you don't
Focus on yourself.
Yeah, you don't look at yourself.
And I think it makes your journey not your own. And I think all our journeys are specific to us, and everything has its time. And I think wanting what another has, you don't go according to your own season, to your own time. And even if you are in your own season, in your own time, you feel worthless because you feel like you should be elsewhere because others are elsewhere. And because another person's, trajectory of their lives is quite different to yours. And that sort of makes you feel less than. So although I think, the term Sabawal, it's
cool and catchy.
it's a fun
Yeah.
term. It's a sassy term. I think subconsciously, though, it does do a bit of damage, Sabawal EPM, guys. And you feel like, oh, should I be in that tax bracket where I have a BMW? Should I, have what that next person has? And I think to some extent we go to great lengths to begin to attain things because Sabawal.
Yeah. It robs you of joy too. And it breeds also comparison.
Yes.
And like and not that necessarily is a bad thing, but it's you it's almost like because you're competing. Also, you're competing with, you don't know the reality of
I
things, right?
I was about
'Cause
to go
you're
into
competing,
that.
Yeah, you're competing with
I was,
something. You're looking over your phone, and you don't even know the
I was,
details.
I think I was about to like to start going into that like you don't know what another person's journey looks like behind the scenes. So yes, I drive a snazzy BM. One, you don't know how long it took me to get here. Two, I might be in incredible debt to be here. And so you're looking at the glossy, final picture, but so much has gone on for me to be here. And, whether it was a struggle for me to get here or whatever the case may be, I'm in debt to be here. Here you are, sabawelling something, ongayaz. You don't know the reality of me,
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's very easy to see the final picture. And obviously, like Instagram and on social media, everybody's posting their highlights. And I think that's something that we always have to be cognizant of is that, whatever we're posting online, social media, Twitter, Instagram, whatever the case may be, that is my highlight moment. I'm not posting my low when I was working my way to whatever I have. I'm posting the final. And I think we as people, as much as we can SBWL, realize that it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's not instantaneous. And I think we're living in a very much instant world where things are instant. You are you get it today. You're a hit today. You went viral today, and all of a sudden it's like you're all over. But anything that is worth something takes time to build.
Yeah.
And let's not live in this instantaneous world where you got a job yesterday and it's like finally now you must get the top of the range everything. I don't think that's the reality of life.
That's true. And when you were talking, I was just thinking about, especially in a world of social media where we're like so fixated on portraying these perfect lives where everything is just going smoothly and whatever. It also creates a whole fakeness around things, that things are not genuine.
Exactly.
Because you're trying to create this image about who you are so that another person can think you're better. Oh my gosh, you live such a fancy life. Oh my gosh, you everything goes well. You've got pretty friends. You look pretty, like you've got expensive hair. So you go on this chase of getting these things so that you can be perceived as something that's not even real. Yeah, because you're trying to show that I can also do it. I can also get that. So it really has a double whammy.
Yeah, but you see the damage is that you're living in a chase.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you are by yourself and you're living the reality of your life, you're not content. You're not happy, all because you're trying to always portray this picture perfect image, And I think about things like hashtag couple goals or relationship goals. I mean, how many of us have seen a relationship online and thought, shucks,
I want that.
I want my man to look like that, and I want my girl to look like that. Okay, couple months down the line, that couple breaks up and you're just like, oh, but I thought wrong. You thought wrong because
you don't know.
Exactly. You thought wrong because you didn't know. And there's so much danger in trying to live the images that we see online.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous to really want to make that your reality, because I think it's very important that when you see whatever you see online, accept it. It's cool. It's nice. Let it end there. Let it not go beyond, I want what they have.
Yeah. So you start curating your life
According
based on
to
images that, I mean, what's that famous thing? A picture tells 1,000 words,
Yeah.
but it can be anything.
A manga.
And you create yes, literally lies. Yeah. So it's like you literally cannot build your life based on curated content, because that's exactly what you're seeing there.
Exactly.
Every picture
and dude, you'll find people hiring cars.
Yeah.
I must hire a Lamborghini to go to an event. Kona, I must feel like that can be my reality. And it's so dangerous because it affects your pocket, one.
Yeah.
And honestly, your pocket does not need to be affected. Like, there are so many things that you need to take care of financially in your own life for you to be chasing what everybody else has. It affects your pocket, it affects you mentally because continuously you feel less than, like you were saying, you know, it affects your self-esteem.
Yeah.
And honestly, it can affect you spiritually because you should want what God wants for you and not what the world
thinks you should have, because it's really just that. It's perception, and it's such unnecessary pressure. Like it robs you really so much because you're really fixated on like your phone basically.
Literally.
It kind of dictates what you need to eat, what you need to wear.
Let's not
what
even.
It's like,
Let's not get to the eating, child.
Yeah. No, we can talk about it because I'm like, geez, it's literally like your life is being controlled by this device and people's ideas and their projections. Because even everyone is projecting. So even the posts that they make, it's for an intended purpose to show off whatever that is not real.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. And you receive that on your end, and it's like, oh, okay, I need to copy that, or I like that, so I'm gonna.
It's like you see someone and like, don't get me wrong, I think what we should do is rather be inspired.
And that there's a fine line also with inspiration.
There is a fine line, but I think it's important to rather be inspired. You know, you see someone's weight loss journey, be inspired, because it's not going to be that when you take that on, it's going to be a case by case where you lose weight now. 8 weeks time, you follow the same regimen. It's going to work for you. You know, I think if anything, that should teach you that your life is very individual and it's very specific to you. And just talking about weight loss, what works for somebody else might not work for you.
That's true.
Just because we're that different, and the mechanics of our bodies work differently. The same goes with like anybody struggling with their skin or something. You know, what works for that other person might not work for me. The same way, a financial plan of another person might not be your financial plan. So let's not take on each other's financial plans. Let's not take on each other's relationship plans, because what works for another person is not going to work for you. And it's not fair on yourself to want what another person has, because you don't know the journey. And in fact, that blueprint for that person might not fit the trajectory of your life.
Yeah. And I'm like also just thinking about how it feels so not genuine, like no, really. It's just and the thing about this is like, social media is supposed to be like fun.
Yeah.
It's supposed to I guess that's how I think it should be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun. We all know we share like stuff, right? Personal lives, but I think when you do stuff with the intention of trying to show off, but that's also okay. But I think it's more on how a person takes it. That's the thing. And so there's also a lot of
competitiveness.
Yeah. And so it's like, I personally, and that's why I felt like, actually, just if we can go into this, I was like, I need to step back, because I felt like I was just being so sucked into other people's worlds. And I'm just like, it was like too much was going on, because I couldn't decipher what was real and what wasn't.
Not, yeah.
And I think also with the culture of, influencing. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's get into that. And I think, I don't really have an issue with influencing, just because when I look at content, right, I always look at it with the intent of, okay, does this work for me or does it not work for me? Could I fit this in? Do I like this? Do I not? I'm never looking at content with the intention of I must fit in.
Yeah.
I must get this so that I'm part of this, I always look at it with the lens of, okay,
this is cool.
It's cool. I like this.
Cute.
I don't. Exactly. And I also continually review the people that I follow for that reason. Because I might have followed you for a specific season in my life, and when your content no longer applies to my life, I simply unfollow. and that helps me, to
Filter.
regulate
Yeah.
myself as well.
Yeah.
Because like I said, this stuff is all for inspiration for me, and I look to whatever influences there are for inspiration. You're pushing a product. Do I like it? Yes. Does it fit for my life? Not really. Not right now. Keep it moving. I don't feel the pressure to continually, be there and be about it. Like I don't have that pressure.
Keep up with whatever the latest trend is.
Like, guys, never been on TikTok. Don't know how to use TikTok. No pressure to be on it. Like,
To be honest, personally, I was like, I think 1 or 2 social media accounts is just enough.
and I think honestly,
really,
I think mentally, I think, coveting, as we discussed it, it does so much damage. Let's not get into like the evil that can go on when people begin to covet. I think we, I don't want to say things, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of evil that can begin to happen, and a lot of resentment that, like, one can begin to have by virtue of just wanting what another person has. Because you begin to look at your life and you say, or you even begin to structure your own prayers according to what others have. Lord, I see what you're doing for other kids, and that's okay. Like, I see Lord, you can do it for me, but also let what is meant for you be for you. Don't then look at what other people have and then think, oh, but Lord, if they can have it, so can I. Maybe you're not meant to have it. Maybe you're meant to get better. Maybe it's not the season for that. And I think we should all be okay with that reality.
Yeah.
That whatever is for you will be for you. And yeah, I just think it does so much damage.
Your mental state as well.
Yeah, you'll find yourself talking hate about other people just because you want what they have, or just because you started off in the same journey and here somebody else has superseded you, and for some reason you think you should be there too.
Yeah.
And you just create resentment and ugliness and all of this unnecessary stuff, mean girl talk and all this, and for what? Just because you want what another person has? Really?
That's so true. That is so true.
There's so much mean girl, and I'm talking about girls because I know ladies.
Yeah.
But there's so much mean girl talk and gossip that can come out of low-key, deep-seated covetousness or jealousy. I'll use jealousy or envy. And it comes across as, gossip or whatever, but me, on the inside, it's really, you've planted a seed of, I wish I was them, or I wish I had what they had.
Or it's like, why do they have that?
Exactly.
Or like, they don't deserve it.
Who do they think they are?
That type of thing. It's like they're not even like that cool. So I don't get what's
you're not even that relevant.
And it's like, what's that got to do with you?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Take yourself out of it, and that's the problem. We put so much of self in everything that we do. Instead of, had you focused on yourself, you would never be there.
That's true. You wouldn't even be bothered or
exactly.
think that deeply about it. And I think it speaks to perhaps maybe how we take social media so seriously. Because I guess everything is like magnified.
Exactly.
And everything is like in our faces, including people's lives.
Exactly.
That it's like you feel like you know someone, but you actually don't. Just from a screen or seeing pictures or videos about them. And it's like, really honestly, I think how I see it is, oh, okay, cool. This is a person and this is the kind of content that they put out, and that's it. Yeah, literally that's it. It's either I like or I don't. I keep scrolling. It's never been like, oh, let me see, what are they about or what do they have or whatever. I'm like, okay, oh, that's who you are. That's great.
And you move on.
And I keep it there. Yeah.
And that's where it should be. I mean, even in like in daily life at work, somebody gets a promotion. However they went about getting it should never be your business. Focus on yourself.
Yeah. We're not saying that lightly. I mean,
no.
I understand that it's hard, and we're people.
No, exactly.
And it's natural, I think. Yeah,
exactly.
It's very natural.
And what people will backstab you, but why are they backstabbing? Why are people backstabbers? It's because inside there's a
There's a thing,
thing
yeah.
that says envy, I must be ahead, I must be like this. And I'm saying, yes, these things will happen to you, but the way that decide to run your life
Yeah.
I feel like you should always attempt to do it with the utmost purity as well. Just, accepting that life has its ups and its downs, but like we were talking about last week, or 2 weeks ago rather, how you respond is
the most
always
important thing.
the best
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, life is gonna throw all types of things at you, all types of things. But it's always about how we respond,
Yeah.
and we shouldn't respond in retaliation or, in this instance, envy. I'm gonna show them.
Yeah.
They think they're the only ones that can do this. No, I'm gonna show them I can do it too. Why are you doing it? Are you doing it because really that's something that you want to pursue and you want to showcase, or are you doing it because you want to show them?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And,
know?
and I think sometimes that's always kind of like the intention behind when you create things for social media.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, look at me, I'm so cool.
Uzobona ngami.
You don't you wish you were me?" It's like it's like a two-way thing. Even the person who's creating that stuff is always like an intention behind what it's to show off, and not that that's a horrible thing or
No.
a bad thing.
No.
It's like, whatever, man, it's fine, and that's the whole point of it. It's supposed to be playful.
Whatever, it's fine.
It's whatever. It's not like serious.
Yeah.
And I think once you receive it with the idea that, I don't know, like when you because perception is it's not, it's like something that's like behind your mind.
Yeah.
You don't even realize. But I think if you are a person who, how can I put it? It's like actually how you filter your mind in terms of like how you look at things, how you see things in general, is very important, because when you don't know a person personally, you don't know their life, you don't know their story.
Yeah.
There's no need for you to feel like I should compete with them.
Exactly.
You really don't. Like,
Exactly, yeah.
There's really no point. So, yeah, it's never that deep.
I agree.
It's never that.
I had a thought and it's just literally left.
Bring it back.
I had a thought and it left me.
And I thought, and I think also this whole, and it's not only in social media that this happens, in reality too, like personal relationships that you have with real people in your life. I think this whole conversation, I think I thought about to reflect on how do you view people, how do you view life, because it speaks so much. It's like what makes you want things.
But I think that's the thing. It's like, what is your motivation behind the way that you run your life? Do you base your life on what your purpose is? Is it based on things that you've prayed about, or is it based on what you see out there? Because I think that's where the danger can be, right? Is that you base your goals and you base the things that you want for yourself upon what you've seen others do. And that's, I mean, great. Like, people do great things and you're inspired to do great things because of other people. But your life should not look like someone else's. You shouldn't have to feel like you have arrived in life based on another person's perception of what it looks like to arrive. I can for me, maybe that could be getting my PhD. For another person is to say, I want to be at this tax bracket by X amount of time. But whatever inspires us or whatever motivates us should be individual to us. And I think sometimes this subwelling of all sorts of things literally will change the course of your life.
And it's distracting. It's so distracting.
I agree.
Because you're not focused on
your own mission.
Life. And your own thing. It's like you are like, oh, this is the latest thing now that's happening.
Let me jump on the wagon. And that's the thing. I think, just going back to like the word, it's like we're all here for our own set mission.
Yeah.
And how we fulfill it might not look the same. we could go cross similar paths, sure. But how we show up for that thing doesn't have to look like the next person.
Yeah.
You know, I could say, you know what, maybe on the inside, I have a dream to inspire young girls. And the way that I do that is by doing a blog, right? You might have the same dream, but should you go and start a blog? No, because you can't write. Maybe you should go and, you know, speak
somewhere.
Exactly.
Or do videos.
Exactly. Or maybe be involved in some community outreach program. But do we have the similar mission? Yes. But how we act that out and show up into the world is very, very different. And I think the SBWL culture makes us look at our lives and be like, oh, I've got a similar thing.
Let me also.
And I see that they're succeeding. They've got 10,000 followers and they've made so much money. Maybe I should do what they're doing. And already you've cast your own vision upon somebody else's. And now it no longer looks like what it should have ever been like for you.
That's so true.
And and then the thing is you don't even get the glory and the success that person has, and then you sit there miserable because I did what they did, I followed what they followed, but why didn't I get the results?
Were not the same.
Because it was never crafted for you.
That is so word. That's so true.
It was never crafted for you.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important. Want things, be motivated by things, but always remember to be an individual.
Be genuine to yourself. So important, because it's actually so evident, and it's weird to see
copy paste. I support.
Like seriously, like you know the cliche, like always be yourself is so true.
And
it
listen,
so much.
I think it's difficult. You know, there's many instances where I've wanted things and I've seen other people do things and I'm like, oh, maybe I should go in that direction. But even in doing that, it's so important to always just draw back and say, you know what, this is the trajectory of my life, this is how I should be, and this is my journey. Yes, this is inspiring. Oh, okay, I see these are ideas, but always come back and say, okay, will this work for me? And even if you're trying something that somebody else has, you know, tried, still always try and be genuine to yourself and see the intention. Am I doing this because I want glory? I want popularity? Why? What is the intention of why you're doing something? And that will always tell you a lot about yourself.
That's so true. And I think my thing about it is like, it's not that fine. Don't look at other people and aspire to certain things. No, it's not that. I think it's really literally like what you were saying, that you always got to come back to who you are. Like, fine, you can see things, and we're people, and that's how we relate to other people. But always come back to the drawing board and be like, this is what I want for my life. This is what I'm praying for. This is what I desire. Does it match with, you know, what I'm looking at? And also, more importantly, it's like, allow yourself to go through the journey of your life. You know,
I think for me, it's also just like, what is your why?
Yeah.
You know, you're doing X, Y, and Z, but why? Is it because you saw somebody else doing it? Okay, fine. They inspired you. Why?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, question yourself. I think that's important.
That is so true.
Yeah.
I think in closing, I would say, I understand, I think, and it's natural to feel that way, especially in a world where everything is so up and close and in our faces. And, you know, everyone and everything, it's like we feel like we have so much access to a lot of things. But I think really just being aware of yourself and how you perceive things. And also having a filter and knowing that, you know, most things are not real. And things seem real, but they're not. You know?
SBWL irreality.
You know, maybe that's
SBWL irreality.
Maybe more of that.
Because dreams are sold, guys.
Yeah.
Dreams are sold.
And lies are told. Okay? So.
You heard it here.
Yeah, literally.
And I think as well in closing, it's just, for me, it's about, be aware of your own journey. You know, let your time here on earth be about what you're here to accomplish. there's no competition. People might compete with you, but
Stay
there
in your lane, bro.
literally there's no competition, and fulfill whatever you need to fulfill, and leave the earth knowing that you did the best that you could do, and not because
It was on your own terms too. It was on your own terms. Not imagine, like you feeling like I'm living for people you don't even know.
who are not even gonna be there for you when things go wrong.
No, yeah.
And now you're stuck in a relationship because it looks cute,
Seriously, for followers and likes? Come on.
and you're miserable.
Come on.
Stuck with a man or a lady because for the gram.
Yeah,
Abantu bazothini.
Come on.
Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
I think let's just do better for ourselves. And I think the more we do better for ourselves, the better we show up for other people, and the better humans we are.
Yeah.
Because there's a thing that envy does to you that just changes your attitude about people and about life, and it just creates a certain negativity.
Yeah.
And so let's just let's always aim to do the dial back. I get it. Sometimes you go out there and life will take you on a course, and you find yourself just like, why do I want this again? What? Those questions are important.
Yeah.
And when they arise, really look deep within yourself and recognize, what is the why? Why did I enter into this? Why am I doing this? And that really just makes living life a bit more positive, and you feel purposeful about the things that you're doing, because you're not doing them because other people are doing them.
Yeah.
And one day you'll find yourself doing what other people are doing, and it might just be illegal, so be careful.
That's advice for you for free, okay? Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, guys, once again, on YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe.
And yeah, also tell us in the comments like what you think.
Yes,
about
definitely.
this, and how actually coveting and the culture of SBWL has affected you. 'Cause I think it's
Affected you.
something we all deal with it.
Yes.
You know,
And I think it's old, young, everybody's
Yeah.
dealt with it, from SBWLing what the neighbors had. Our parents probably dealt with that. So I think we've all sort of had an experience with it in one way or another. And how do you check yourself? How do you check your friends? What do you do? Let us know in the comments. Yeah, your experience.
Well, that wraps up the second episode.
We'll see you guys on episode 3 of the Beyond the Surface podcast. Bye.